the week 8 team assignment from the perspective of team member number 6. Start on the course homepage, launch the Excel keyboard shortcut, and you're noticing that I have Excel desktop application as well as the Excel online shown. And that's because you're going to be running Solver. And Solver can only be done in the Excel application. But then after you do that, you're going to be copying and pasting the data that you solve into the Excel online. So you're going to be working with both. So you're going to be copying and pasting Control C, Control V. You're going to be going to specific cells with Control G. You're going to be changing sheets within the workbook, the Excel workbook, Control page up, page down in Excel application desktop, and then Control Alt page down, page up, page down in Excel Online. We're going to be selecting a whole bunch of cells, particularly the Q column, with Shift Control Arrow for Excel Online, and actually Shift Control Arrow as well as Shift End Arrow also work in Excel Desktop. And then the next tab within the browser, Control Tab or Shift Control Tab for the previous tab. And because we're working with the application as well as online, the browser, we're going to be going Alt Tab to go between the two. So Control Tab to go to the next tab, which is the previous tab if there's only two tabs in browser. Alt Assignments, and then go down to the team assignments and week 8. And let's start by launching the week 8 bonds.xlsx file from the team folder. So click on that, go into your team folder, and you may see that there looks like there's two of them. But the first one, week 8 bonds XLSX, that's the one we're going to launch in just a moment. The one that says week 8 bonds 3, that was made by team member number 3. That's the 3 at the end. And it's a temporary file. That's where they did their work. And that's where they're going to, and you're going to make a similar one where you're going to do your work. You're going to save it still in this same team folder. And you're just going to call your one week 8 bonds 6. More on that in a minute. But so let's launch the week 8 bonds.xlsx file. And now I'm going to go back, Control Shift Tab twice, back to our instructions. So team member 1, 2, and 3, they were working on the stable portfolio, the one that is not going to be as volatile with different interest rates as the one you're working on, which is the high return portfolio, but will give a higher yield, a higher return. That's what 4, 5, and 6 are working on. And here's you, number 6. So we're going to run Solver. We're going to open up the application, and we're going to save a copy of it with this 6. And then we're going to make sure the solver is added to it in add-ins. And then we're going to run Solver, and I'll get back into these instructions in a minute once we get there. So now let's go Control Tab back to our team folder, mouse over the bonds 8 XLSX, make sure it's not the 3 one, it's the 8 one, and click the regular one without the 3. Click the triple dot, open in app, open Excel. Now, if you were at home and using Microsoft 365, you'd be able to open this and work concurrently. But here in the lab, they don't have 365. They have a lab version. And so we don't have concurrent editing. And so what we have to do is hit edit the workbook. You have to click it, I'm sorry. And then choose save and edit copy the file. A copy of the file, go OK. They're going to want to save it in the same folder, which is a good idea, but we're going to click at the end and add a 6 because you're team member number 6, and save. There. Now, the worksheet that we're happen to be on is high return portfolio, but maybe you wouldn't be on that. Maybe you'd be on the previous sheet, so that's control page up. Maybe that's how it opens up. Or on one of the other sheets. So go control page down, page down, page down to get to the high return portfolio page. And then it's this weighted average yield to maturity. We want that higher. We want it greater than 6%. And it's already over the 6% one. It's already over the 6% one with all the bonds we have, but can we get it even better than that? And can we get at the same time, hopefully the weighted average duration, even though we're not aiming for that, at least it'll be hopefully less than 10. I don't think it's going to be, but that's what our hope is for a high yield portfolio. So let's start by getting the solver, and that is Alt. I got to click in here. Alt F, and then T for options, and then I'm going to use the arrow to go down to add-ins, and I'm going to tab, 4 tabs to get to the go button. We already want Excel add-ins. That's the default, and that's the one we want. Good. And then just hit enter to hit go, and arrow down to solver and use the space bar to put a check mark there, and then enter for OK, and we have solver. Now I'm going to go back to our instructions. Alt tab to get back to the web, and then Shift Control Tab to get back to our instructions. So we're going to maximize the weighted average yield to maturity, which is in cell T7. We're going to change the variables Q2 to Q181. And by the way, what that is look at how the Q column, it's all ones and zeros, or it could be zeros. And if it's a 1, we're using that bond. It's included in the mathematical calculations because it's times by 1. But if it's a 0, it times it by 0 and it nullifies that line, that bond. So that's what we're going to do, is zeros or ones. So we're going to tell it to change those zeros or ones, but the constraints are that we're going to say it's got to be binary. It's got to be either 0 or 1, not 0.5, not 0.3, not 0.7, 0 or 1. And then we want to be at least 30 or more, because we don't want to put all our eggs in one basket. We're like, we found the best bond, let's buy a whole bunch of this. No, we want to have at least 30, or 30 or above. And then we're going to copy and paste those ones and zeros from Excel app to the Excel Online. So Alt Tab, and let's go Alt and Data A, which is A, and Solver, which is Y2. And it looks like it's all set up, but if it wasn't, like if it wasn't T7, then we would hit the up arrow to go out on the, and you can see it's going up now. It's up at T5, 6, 7, or 4, whatever. Now we're at T7, and then I hit Tab to go to the next one, the 2 field, and it's on max, but I could use arrow keys to make it which ones I want, but it's on max. And it's got everything else set up. It's got the Q2 to Q81, and if it wasn't, we go to up arrow, we would start on Q2, and then go Shift Control down to select them all, and then I go Tab. And then I'm just going to get rid of these just to show you how to build them. I'm going to hit space to select it, Tab, down arrow to delete, enter, and then tab, space arrow, down arrow to delete, space, tab, and now tab one more time to add, enter. And the cell reference, I'm going to hit up arrow to get back to the spreadsheet, Shift Control down, so Q2 to Q81, then go Tab. I want this to be bin binary, but when I hit down to see them all, watch what happens. As soon as I hit down once, it goes away. So I have to go Shift Tab to get back, down one more time to open it, and then down one more time, and it goes away. Shift Tab again, down one more time to open it. It makes you really want to use the mouse, and if you do, I understand, but I'm going to use the keyboard. Down one, that's not quite what I want, but I'm going to go down one more time to binary, and then enter. And I'm going to go tab to add, because I'm going to do one more. I'm going to say there needs to be at least 30 bonds. Enter. And then up arrow for the cell reference. And then I'm going to go over to T9. That's how many bonds. It's just a sum. Right now it's a formula of all the ones. So it's all 180 so far. And then, so I'm choosing that one. Then I'm going to go tab. And I don't want less than or equal to. I want greater than or equal to. So down arrow. And then down once it skips. Shift tab to go back. Down one, and then down again. Now it's the one I want. Type in the number 30, and then I'm just going to hit OK at the blue arrows. Then tab, keep going down to the select a solving method. We don't want simplex. We want, if you hit the down arrow, we want the up one GRG nonlinear. So enter that, and then I'm going to tab down to solve, and then enter. It's thinking. Hopefully better than 6.27. and hopefully better than 12.29 for the average modified duration. Thinking. I almost want to pause it because it's taking so long. Okay, I'm going to pause it. Okay, it finally happened about 30 seconds after I paused it. So it's bumped it up from 6.29 to 7.13, and we didn't get quite below 10, but we got to 10.78. So, not bad. And they only got 30 bonds, which is the minimum of what I wanted. The reason they didn't get more, like 40 or something, is because any more, and it didn't make that quite as good. It didn't get quite reach the 7.13. And then just hit enter to OK that. And then you're done. Oh, no, you're not done. Sorry. Then we're going to copy these over. So go back to Q2, Shift Control down, Control C to copy, and then Alt Tab and to back to the web, and then Control Tab into our Excel Online. And we got to make sure we're on the right sheet. Right now I'm in stable portfolio, so I want to go Control Alt page down to get to the high return portfolio. I'm going to go Control Home and go across to the Q and then Control V. There. So it's using some and not using others, the zeros and ones. And now you're done.